My name is Hannah.
And I'm Adrienne.
And welcome Circle Back. And I usually say, hey, it's Circle... Wait, is that the usual?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How's it going?
I was like, I forgot we were filming.
Yes, yeah. So I realized, since we just are starting to film, I realized the first video was all like I needed to be a little bit more excited. So anyway.
So you're welcome for that.
Yes. If you're watching this one, hopefully it's a little better.
Yeah.
So, who knows? It's our second round of season 3 guests, so hopefully we get better and not
Should
worse.
be old pros by now.
Old pros. All right, so we are talking to a good friend who... Sorry, what is his name? We are talking to a friend of ours that Adrienne and I are actually best friends with his wife, and she's
a lot cooler than I am.
Yes, she has been on the pod before. It was Kelsey, and now we have Austin. Yep.
Thanks for having me.
So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know that you wanted to be here as much as you were told that you were coming.
Yeah, it was a little bit of, I was asked, Kelsey brought it up, and then at first, it's funny, at first I was like, oh yeah, cool, that sounds awesome.
Right.
And then the closer it gets, I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. He came in, I don't know if you heard, he came in, he's like, I tried canceling today 3 times.
Yeah.
What? That's hilarious.
Especially last night, because, Kelsey came over and I was like, if they want to cancel,
it's okay.
That's fine with me.
But
no, I'm glad you're here. I think we're gonna have a good time.
By the end of it, I'll probably be like, can I get another hour?
Yeah. No.
No.
So yeah, I don't know. Things were really, I feel like, authentic when it came to our friendship with you and Kelsey.
Yeah.
And with Matthew and I, as far as like couple friends, like, so it was really easy for me, Adrienne, and Kelsey.
Okay.
Me, Adrienne, and Kelsey to become pretty close pretty quick. And then I was like, Kelsey, what if our husbands got there? Because the more she would tell me about you, I was like, that sounds a lot like Matthew. And then I would tell her about Matthew, and he's like, that sounds like Austin.
And I was there too.
Yeah.
They both wear skinny jeans.
Yeah. And so, so I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
And our kids are really close, and I don't know, I'm really thankful for it.
I love your kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Same. They play together so well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's great.
They're little boogers when they get together, though.
For sure.
I mean, they're wanting to get into things they know.
Mostly Journey probably starts a lot of it.
Yeah, she does. It's never like really bad stuff. It's just stuff that's just annoying enough to be like, what are you doing?
Mischievous. Yes.
Yeah, mischievous.
That's a good one.
The thing is, I don't know if Sister Elias is just like, I'm going to go. I'm going to follow. And I'm like, okay, that's great, but you can think for yourself too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and Journey's got those leader, bossy type
she's a boss babe for
She
sure.
is.
Yeah.
So.
But so kind. All your kids are. So definitely Jameson's so kind.
Yeah, I've never heard a bad word come out of his mouth.
I disagree.
So we had Kelsey on, and a lot of the time that episode really was about Silas.
Yeah.
And about how he was born with spina bifida, and just kind of y'all's journey through that. She spoke about herself, but also you guys as a couple. And congrats for making this far.
Yeah, right. We're still here.
Yeah. In all seriousness, you have really good kids, and you should be proud of that. And they're a joy to be around. And
I think Silas might be my best friend.
Oh yeah, he's
my best friend in the world.
He's great. He's I've always said,
I don't even take that to offense.
Yeah, because he's so cool.
No, he's definitely my favorite. No. But no, he really is. I always think of joy. Like, he just emits joy.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
Yeah, I remember when we were at the park the other day, you were looking at him and you said, I just hope he never, that never changes.
He never loses that.
Yeah. And I don't think he'll think it will.
Yeah.
He'll probably be like that.
Yeah.
For a good while.
I think you guys are really good at nurturing that. And being, I don't know, letting him express himself, and all your kids, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are very good at that. So
thank you.
So I want to talk a little bit about your journey as a father.
Okay.
And just kind of like how things have been for you as a dad now with 3. A young dad.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not old. Just had a newborn. Just kidding. Just had a newborn.
Yes.
4 months ago.
Yep. 4 months old. And yeah, things have just been kind of crazy. And
For sure. Yeah.
I just was interested in your journey throughout this whole new dad again process.
It's been interesting for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of different layers to it. So yeah, so dad of 3, oldest Journey, daughter, she's 6. And then Silas had just turned 3 back in June. And then, Jameson was born about 4 months ago. And man, so much was going on, particularly with Jameson. Like, to be completely honest, our marriage wasn't really in the best of spots. It was really rocky. About to introduce a 3rd kid that was not planned, So, but in hindsight, there was a lot of stuff just personally that I really needed to work through. I've always been a pretty laid back, chill type person, just go with the flow, whatever happens. But man, Silas, just the medical stuff was a lot. And I think I never really faced it, like for real. Yeah. I'm stuff and berry, But I mean, not necessarily too, like I've always had a really good close relationship with God. So my internal dialogue, I'm always talking to God and just taking things to him. But, I don't know. It's just, we keep it chill.
Do you find,
I just love, they're fun to play with. And,
Do you find it difficult to be, be able to be like chill and be able to be kind of like you are laid back kind of person?
Yeah, to a fault sometimes.
But exactly. Yeah. So, but you also have feelings. Yeah. And so do you ever struggle with how to process those things?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't really know. I don't, I don't know if I don't know if it's like, if I just ignore things or...
See, I have trouble recognizing what my emotions are in the moment.
Yeah.
And that gets on Hannah's nerves sometimes, I think, because she'll be
like... better.
She'll be like, why are you so upset? And I'm like, I am not upset. Why would you say that?
And then she's like,
but then I'm acting upset. And then the next day I'll be like, oh,
yeah.
I think this is why.
Body language, right?
Yes.
So much. What do they say? You communicate
like 90%,
more, 90, 80% body language than, what you say or your tone or whatever. But,
I think there's people that they face things or don't face things at all. Then there's people that face things in the moment and can kind of articulate their emotions and when they need to go. But then there's people that they don't even recognize the emotion until after everything's happened. And you're like, holy crap, I was in a bad place there. Or holy moly, I was like, whatever it may be. Or I was upset or I was, feeling a little scared or whatever it may have been.
And everybody does a little bit of all of that, right? But I think naturally, just being a go with the flow type person, I probably deal with things right then and there.
Okay, yeah.
For the most part, not always, but.
Do you feel the freedom to feel what you actually want to feel sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't. Well, I'm saying I feel like I try to be, just a person that is joyful most of the time and kind of laid back. But then when I go through something, if I'm not here, I'm scared to be here, like lower, because I'm like, people expect me here. So if I'm here, thank goodness for video.
I was about to say.
Expectations of like just what people.
Just others or being a father or being a mother. Like, you just have, life is life and pretty hard. And so knowing how to take care of yourself and knowing what your emotions mean and how I don't think Adrienne's way to process is good nor bad. I don't think mine is good nor bad. Yours is good. I think it's the way we process, and I think there's nothing wrong with that if we can.
If you're aware of it.
If you're aware of that,
yeah. And try to be aware of how it affects those closest to you for sure. Yes. It's interesting. Oh, you said something a minute ago. I already forgot.
Way back.
Way back. Circle back. But I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Brain fart.
So let me go into this then. You have some hobbies, Let's talk about them. One of your, I think probably your biggest thing is music. Mm-hmm. You enjoy music a lot.
Cliche, typical musician. Love music. Love listening to it. Finding new music.
Yes.
I just want to play my music.
Yeah.
We went to a gig, Matthew's gig, and we were sitting there listening, and Austin gets up out of the chair to go tell the sound guy that his mix is bad.
Oh, yeah.
Was this in Chattanooga or was this?
I tried to. I couldn't find him.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was just, and part of that actually comes from, I wasn't always really a big sound guy, but the church that I played drums at, they had a need for kind of like a broadcast engineer mixer. Yeah. So I knew nothing, but I love learning new stuff all the time too. Mm-hmm. More so as I got older, like that really kicked in. I just I want to know everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just really cool because they were really knowledgeable. So I took it as a free opportunity, right, to like learn stuff that most people would go to school for.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just through that, we were at his gig, and it was specifically a Keith Urban song. Yeah. I can't remember which song, but it had very iconic.
Love Somebody.
Yeah, it had that very iconic, lead guitar parts. And I was like, I see the lead guitar up there killing it, playing it, but I'm like, I can't hear it, and it just made me so bad.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna go find this.
Yeah,
that was like their opening song too.
Yeah, it was very.
Yeah,
I think it was very close.
They figured it out about halfway through, or like the first break.
Right. Yeah. But, and then they were on top of their game. Yeah. So you played drums mainly
since I was 14.
Okay. Yeah. And how long have you been in worship music?
Since I was 14.
Oh, okay. Did
you learn drums for church?
Yeah, so I'm a PK kid. My dad's a minister, so I've grown up in church. And the church at the time, I was in the youth group, and the church also had a really big international school of ministry. So one of the students was playing drums for the youth at the time, and my dad's a guitar player, my mom's a singer, so I've always been around music. And,
one of those.
Yeah. And so naturally I wanted to be a guitar player because my dad and my brother were. And I just could not get it, could not figure it out. And still to this day, I struggle with understanding chords and progressions. Like if someone said, give me a G or an A, you're like, what? How do you know what that, or remember what that looks like? And of course the answer is practice, just repetition. But and then I tried drums one time, and same thing. I was just like, I guess I'm not a musician. I don't get it. And then one day something clicked around when I was 14. I was listening to a song and I was like, I think I can do that. And then I just went behind the kit and started playing, and it came natural all of a sudden. But the guy at the time that was playing, I think his name was Dave, who was playing with the youth. Yeah, he, you know Dave.
Yeah, Dave. We go pretty bad. Let's go far.
That was classic Dave. I'll tell you what.
Classic.
Dave. What's up, Dave? Shout out, Dave. No. But he taught me some basic stuff. Yeah. But for the most part, I just was self-taught. I just played the records in my room. It was blessed enough where a guy gave me a free drum set. I guess he saw that I had a knack for it, if you will, and gave me a kit, and been playing
since.
Went. Yeah. So I've been playing with youth and lived in Florida for a while and had the pleasure to play with like trio bands doing like, beach bar cover tunes, like cover bands, fun. Which was so fun.
Are you from Florida?
No, I'm originally from Oklahoma.
No way. Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm an Okie from Muskogee.
With the Twisters.
Twisters. Which I think is also why I love severe weather. Yeah. Like I was telling you when I got here.
You and Matthew.
Yeah.
You're severe weather. You don't sleep when there are tornadoes.
Pretty nerdy about it.
You just pace.
Well, and it's not, but here's the thing. It's not even about the safety. It's just like, I just want to know the broadcast. I want to be in the action. Like, it's not about like, you're not, it's like, what are you doing? For me, I'm like, when do we need to get in our safe spot? I'm ready.
What's your plan?
Watching the broadcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like
we have a nader bag, as we call it, tornado bag.
Nice.
It's got helmets and shoes in it, just in case we can throw it all.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to see a tornado. I grew up, Twister was one of my movies I watched all the time with my dad. Good. Yeah. And
You never chase?
No, I missed my calling. I should have been a weatherman or something.
Yeah.
I don't believe in meteorology as a science, as Hannah knows, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that about? Okay. Let's dive into that. Yeah.
This just in.
Yeah.
This just in. Meteorology is
Weather is not real.
Scam.
Weather is not real.
No, okay. And this, maybe not so much meteorology in general, but more like weather apps, okay?
Okay, yeah.
So you
Or
open,
no, weather.
yeah, okay. You open your weather app, right? Mm-hmm. And it says 100% chance of rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what? There is not 100% chance that there will be a tomorrow.
That's true.
And science never deals in absolutes. Like, because there's never 100% chance of anything in the scientific world.
It's a cop out. You're like,
Yes.
hey, I can be wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
So
It's all fake.
So,
Yeah, it's all fake.
Okay, so
No.
there's 100% chance of rain tomorrow. Okay, if we get there, we'll see.
It's more like there's 100% chance it might rain.
Also,
Ah.
I recently learned that the percentage is about ground cover.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's not about whether it's going to rain or not. It's about it's going to cover 40% of Middle Tennessee.
Oh,
Or it's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
cover, you know.
Especially this time of the year, like the scattered storms, where
So tell me what 100% chance of rain means.
I don't know.
yeah,
It just bugs me.
It's
when I open
100% the state of Tennessee is going to get wet today.
Hannah knows that I don't check my weather app. She'll be like, "Oh, I wonder if it's going to rain today, or was it supposed to rain today?"
yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. And
Look
I'm
outside.
Not checking my app. We'll see when we get there.
You have your things, man. You got weather, you got Listerine.
Listerine.
Shampoo.
Yeah, let's talk about Listerine.
I know it's active ingredients.
Oh, yeah. Active
But
ingredients.
that's a different thing. Okay. Did you like the new Twisters movie? by
I
the
did.
way?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
pleasantly
It was
surprised.
so good, right?
It really
I
was.
really enjoyed
She's
it.
never seen the first one, so we're going to watch
Oh,
the first one.
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Daisy Edgar Jones. If we can get her on the podcast next.
Okay. Yep. Shout out.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell.
Because like you didn't have to see the first one, but there's like little nuggets. You're
Little,
like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Easter eggs.
Yeah. I mean,
I
the
thought
whole,
they were going to ruin my childhood, but they didn't.
No,
so, no.
but here's the thing: I was kind of confused about when they made Dorothy, the new one.
Yeah.
Was that because of the Dorothy that already was made,
Yeah.
or was that like supposed to be a brand new idea? Because they
Yeah.
treated it like a brand new idea.
I took it as it was just a random callback because they didn't even really use Dorothy, from what I understand. Did they? It was just like, oh yeah,
No
she's
spoilers.
there.
Oh yeah, the Dorothy
yeah.
was more the scientific rotation.
Yeah, the little.
But it wasn't the actual ingredients that goes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe that's. Yeah. So
This
I guess
one was
this
the ingredients was the new thing
Yes.
to, like-
Okay. Maybe that was what. Okay.
Without. I mean, it's been out long enough.
yeah,
it's
guys.
Like spoilers.
This won't
whatever.
come out
It's
till
still in
next.
theaters.
This won't come out till October.
Is it still in
Oh,
theaters?
September.
September.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw it this past week.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad everyone liked it.
Yeah. I honestly haven't heard anyone say they didn't like it,
Yeah, I haven't
except
heard that.
Olivia, but she was just grumpy. So
Of course.
Never go see a movie grumpy. You're just not gonna like it.
Yeah. So you're playing drums. You realize this is what I want to do.
That'd be the dream,
that's
right?
the dream,
Ideally.
yeah.
Well, specifically, I mean, being able to do music, you know, as a living would be the dream regardless. But the dream, just having grown up in church and worship and stuff. And because worship really is my heart. So it's like if there was, you know, that Bethel status, right? Where you
Right.
could like travel and tour as a worship band, that
and
would be
make
so
the
dope.
make
Yeah.
the living off it, like
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
Earn.
What is your view or, yeah, I guess view is a fine word, on
I believe in God.
worship music now with touring and with,
Yeah.
like, do you think they're doing it well?
Yeah, I mean, I've also thought for years because, man, one thing that was a life-changing experience for me was I had through the church I grew up at, you know, they had a school ministry, so I had like a mentor of mine growing up who decided to go out to Bethel in their school ministry, and this was in 2007, 2008 or something. So when I graduated
Who was that? Who's the pastor?
of the church that I grew up
Yeah,
at,
no, Bethel.
oh,
It's a
if you didn't ask me,
it's a
Bill
documentary
Johnson.
now.
Stephen Furtick?
No,
Bill
that's
Johnson.
Bill Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
So have you seen the documentary?
Oh, he's
No.
Austin, you have not seen this documentary?
No,
All
is
right.
it a new one?
Oh my god, it is all. Oh my gosh, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. And you gotta come back and talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
So Bill Johnson, but also the other one.
Chris Valentin. There's a
No,
bunch.
kind of in the Judah Smith age range.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, do you know?
Bethel guy or a preacher?
Yeah.
I guess
Watch me
Stephen
be
Furtick, I don't know.
Watch me be completely wrong. Do you have your phone? Look up a documentary about Bethel Church.
Yeah, Stephen's Elevation in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's Elevation. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
What was I talking about? I forgot.
I don't know. We're two
Church.
really
Oh
bad
yeah,
people.
yeah, no. So this mentor guy that was like a mentor, but a friend, went out to Bethel and invited me out to this big. It was the first conference they did, but it was basically Jesus Culture's first ever big conference.
Oh, okay.
And that album, that was their first live album, the Sloppy Wet Kiss song. That,
Yeah.
That was there live for that. So that's what that was.
Oh, that's really cool. I love that was like the biggest controversy.
So are you Sloppy Wet Kiss or Unforeseen?
I don't. What's the controversy? I don't pay attention to honestly.
I mean, that's
like
basically it. They're like, ew, why would you put sloppy wet? Like, that's just gross. That doesn't need to be in music, blah, blah, blah. And then they changed it to Unforeseen because it was more palatable or something.
Oh. I guess if I had to make a choice, I'm a Sloppy Wet Kiss guy.
Sloppy Wet Kiss.
It's like, I would assume if that's what it was originally written as, it's like, just let it be.
Keep it that way.
Yeah.
Let it be. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you not find it yet?
No, maybe it wasn't Bethel.
Are you talking about Hillsong?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, didn't see it, but yeah, you're talking about like the Hillsong scandal or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bethel Church. You're lovely. Maybe. I don't know.
The OGs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know you. I can't pretend to say that. But anyway, that's
the only reason I
my
brought
gosh.
that up is because you asked about, I guess, my viewpoint of like modern CCM music or worship. Because to me that was life changing. I never heard worship in that style of music, kind of like heavy rock-ish vibe. Mm-hmm. It was very early 2000s, like you came from heaven to earth, whatever. Yeah.
I love that song.
But
I feel like this podcast is
that.
becoming karaoke pretty shortly. Okay.
But no, so it was great. But honestly, I've had the thought in recent years where it's like, man, what's the new sound going to sound like?
Right.
Because we've been doing this same style of, which I love it, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But it's just so, I've even make a joke, people in it doing it long enough. It's like, oh, there's like one of 4 beats I can pick from, just play it safe. If I've never heard the song, you could probably just show up and play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it's very almost formulated how music's made. But I get it, because there is, for the church at least, you are writing songs for a congregation. It's not supposed to be all like, look how crazy wild this is.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was wondering, to me, I feel like we're getting to this point in music with like worship, particularly. Now but I'm talking like worship, right? I think there's a difference in worship and playing music.
For sure.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so,
should be.
But I mean, I've gone to certain like churches or like worship nights and stuff, and it's like, we're not worshiping. We're just like singing a song.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
Singing
saying?
your favorite song.
Yeah.
Like a concert.
It is much like that. And like, I'm just like, there's a place for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All day long. But can we, like, but at the same time, do we lose the reverence of what we're doing and who we're doing it for in certain ways? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I think it's,
Well,
the
it's
answer is our
interesting.
heart. But
What I've seen lately has been really cool. Like you're always going to have that, especially like if it's a medium, large size church, you're going to have just a lot of different type of people there for different reasons. So you're always going to have the people that are just like, very stoic, just, it's like, are you enjoying this at all? Or,
Yeah.
And then you always have those people that are just like they worship and you can tell, and I love how that's usually all it takes, like one person just like being free that can change the entire atmosphere. But yeah, it's I
will say,
cool.
So we've both been part of a lot of different worship bands over the years, and I'm sure you have as well. I've been a part of some worship bands where you basically are just playing a concert. Like, the people on stage. Well, okay, you never know for sure. I should not say that how they're feeling or what they're doing, but the culture surrounding it, the actions surrounding it, the times in like the green room before you go on stage, you can kind of tell this is not conducive to heartfelt worship. And you can do your best on stage, but it's really hard when you feel like you're the only one there just to serve. Because I think that's what a worship team should be. We're literally just there to serve other people. And we're not there because we are the best musicians in the world.
Right.
We're the ones who care to put in the time. We're the ones who
you're using it for...
Literally. Like, we've been given whatever, any kind of talent you might have. Like, you've been given this, and we're supposed to steward it well. And so many people don't steward that well. And I have worship music is a tricky subject, just because music in itself is such, like, no one's going to say they don't like music.
Oh yeah.
Right. Everyone
it's that
loves
universal
some kind of music.
language.
Yes, exactly.
And
so you bring that over to the church realm and the worship realm, and suddenly it has to be this ushering in the presence of God, which I don't.
Doesn't have to be.
That's a thing, personally.
You're right.
But like I work with 4th and 5th graders at my church on Sundays, and we let them help with worship. So like they go on stage and they lead the singing. Yeah. But we always talk beforehand, because we ask for volunteers. We're like, hey, who wants to lead this song today? Who wants to lead this song today? And we talk beforehand, like, and we ask them, what do you think worship is? What do you think a worship leader does? And it's really interesting to hear their answers. And I've honestly loved working with them because I feel like I'm learning.
Absolutely.
And I'm learning how to have a more childlike faith through them. It's been really cool. And because we never want them to think that they're up there for themselves. And
That's
so,
awesome.
Or like that they're like, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But sometimes in the church, I feel like we've created this like, like a what is it?
Hierarchy?
Maybe, yeah, something like okay, you got the pastor, but like if you're on the worship team, you're made it
top
in
tier.
church. Like,
I am better than you. Absolutely.
And like, and like you have, but we've
but that's kind of
because
unfortunately you see
because you're the ones who are up there.
Yeah.
You're the ones who people see.
Well, and we treat it that way because you get special green rooms, you get special stuff, you get special merch, you get and all of this stuff, and it seems very secluded.
Yeah.
And I think it can be that way very quickly on accident, or it can be, or it's not like a, I think whatever. I think you have to fight against that.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Which I love at the current place I'm at. You know, I didn't even know
because it will happen.
Worship. Yeah, obviously.
You can't help. You're human, and you're freaking really good at singing, and you're really good at playing drums, and you're really good. Like you know, it's like we're human, and that happens, and so
and you do see that generally speaking, unfortunately, more so than not, which is kind of sucks. But where I'm currently at, it's rare from my perspective. It's really rare because I've never played at a church they have a really good. It's got that almost kind of concert level type production stuff to it.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing.
But what's rare about it for me is like the leaders. I've gotten to develop relationships with them, and it's like they really do have a heart for worship, so they haven't lost. It's not all about like look at me.
Yeah.
But it can look that way though. Like I would imagine, like if I just showed up to that church and then didn't know anybody, I would totally judge that and be like, oh, look at these rock stars. They're probably self-conceited.
So how do we? Not that it's our responsibility for people to, people are going to judge either way, right?
Of course.
We can't do anything about that, right?
Unfortunately.
But how do we take it back to our level of like it's really just service? Like you know what I mean? How do we get there? And like how do
worship leaders?
Like what active steps can we take to maybe, even though that's not the heart behind it, and those, and I'm not saying, I'm saying church in general. But these people and you're going and it's great. But how do we reflect that on others?
Example, if I try to simplify things, I would say it's got to be a direct, like even in your private life, what are you doing? Like, are you worshiping at home? Like, because that will naturally just flow out of you and affect everything else if you're just, worshiping at home. Like when I practice for a song, like I technically, I'm not trying to sound conceited here, but like I've been doing it long enough that I'm comfortable with my ability to like, I could probably just listen to the song like on the way to church and wing it and do just fine. But I've learned that like I don't like to do that, and it's so much more powerful, because that's why I think I'm a drummer. I don't like being on stage, and it's like, throw me into a cage, turn the lights off, put me in the back, because I really do. I've gotten better at this, but I only felt like I could really genuinely worship God behind the kit. Like it was my expression of worship. And I felt weird in the audience. Like,
well, you've seen the people that like sing and play guitar. You take the guitar away and they're like,
what do I do with my hands?
Yeah, same thing.
So with practice, I choose to practice even if I've already played the song a million times. Yeah. Because for me, it's not just, making sure I'm warmed up, but I'm worshiping. Like I'm connecting with the song.
You're putting the effort
listening to the lyrics, and it's worship, so that when I'm on stage on Sunday, I'm not having to think about it. Like I can just pour out.
Yeah.
So I think, and then so in a leadership role, like, if you do that, people will you can't deny it. Like, if it's real, people will see that and want to kind of follow.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It's my opinion, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not thus saith the Lord, but
I do. I really like the your view of practice, and because I think sometimes with and hear me, I'm not a musician, I'm not a singer, I'm not on stage. Like I've been married.
Doesn't mean you can't be a worshiper though.
No, but I'm just saying like to speak on this is just purely from like outside. So take it with a grain of salt. But I you know what I was saying? It's gone.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Oh well. Practice. I was saying. What I enjoy about that particular thing is that it's like you've gotten the mechanics down, you know, and so you don't have to, because if you're thinking so much about mechanics, you can't. Yeah. I don't think you could.
And I've been there. Right. I've been there. I had to learn how to get past that.
Yeah. So my question, I guess, is like you want to be authentic on stage. You want to worship on stage, be that example. But I think sometimes maybe the opposite could be true of people practice because that's when they can really worship at home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then they can focus really well over here. I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong, but
yeah. The church I'm currently at, I've never played at a church that was open to be free to like flowing worship.
Yeah.
Every church I played at prior was you had tracks and like, and like we don't play the tracks anymore. And so there's just a lot more of like just spontaneous worship. So even more so being prepared or knowing the songs well enough that I can pay attention to the room. Where the leader's going, and I'm not stuck in like the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
I think at the end of the day, we have to realize that people that are on that stage, like it's a lot. Like it's a lot to carry, honestly, too.
Yeah.
I think I can only imagine I think about sports, right? Because I can relate to that.
Nice.
And, the coach puts me in and there's 30 seconds. And since I haven't prepared, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, they're doing a whole play because these 4 girls have played together.
Yeah.
All year. But Hannah comes on and I'm like, we don't flow together. Like, I don't know what to do, and it just, you have to have the brain to do the mechanical things. Mechanical? Yeah. And to be able to know what's coming and how to flow and all that stuff. So, I don't want to take that away from, and I hope I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to do. I just like to pick brains that I don't have. And you two have brains with music that I don't have. So.
Well, and what I love about music too, I've found so many ways in just conversations with people where I can take what I've learned through my passion, right, and apply it to every aspect of life. Like just the simple idea of practicing, right? Like, what do you want to do if you have a goal? Practice it, until instead of just, for me particularly, because I am such a go with the flow, like fly by the seat of your pants type of person sometimes. So I just will like jump in and try to do it. But yeah.
But I was watching a TV show. I don't know. This has probably nothing to do with anything. But I was watching a TV show the other day. And they were talking about his 2 daughters had career day at school. Mm-hmm. And he is a weather trader is his job. And no one knows what the heck that is.
I was going to say, what's a weather trader?
And so their grandpa comes to visit. And he's getting on the piano. And he's singing and, you know, playing. And he's like, yeah, I used to play in these bands and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, Grandpa, can you do career day? And the dad's like, Dad's doing career day. Like, you know, he's like, he's really, so when he goes, when the time has come and it's time for career day, he goes on stage and he's like, I understand that you guys may not know what a weather trader is. And he goes, I thought I'd sing it to you. And he goes on the piano and he's terrible. Like, you know, and, but he's really trying and it's just so bad. And then he gets home and the grandpa's like, so I can teach you if you want. And he goes, you know those movies where someone is like, I can do this. I'm going to sit down and do it. And they do the whole montage. They're practicing. Yeah, and he's like, I think I missed the montage. Like really bad. Like he's like, I did not practice I thought I needed to. And
it's funny.
I don't know why I said that story. But, you know.
It's a good story, though.
Thank you.
Good one. I'm glad you told it. Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, man.
I had, funny enough, thinking about, you know, earlier, I was like, I tried to cancel this so many times because I was like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I'm not that interesting of a person. And a lot of it, too, in hindsight, was just real negative talk. I was like, I'm not interesting. Like, what? I'm going to make a fool out of myself. But yeah, I was like, the only thing, I think Kelsey told you, I was like, well, something that's maybe a little unique about me is I was like, I used to struggle with sleep paralysis, you know, night terrors. I was like, we could have a dark podcast of like unsolved mysteries.
Actually, I'm kind of interested in this whole sleep paralysis thing.
Dude, you wake up and can't move?
Yeah. And typically, you know, you see real messed up entities or whatever.
That happened to me not long ago. I was upstairs asleep and I kid you not, everything in me said there was someone in my room. Yeah. Everything. I mean, but I would look and I knew no one was there, but I could not move. I was so fearful.
Like your eyes, you can only move your eyes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I was like frozen and I was like, oh God. And but you can't, but you want to move. Yeah. It is terrifying.
It's the most, terrifying is really just the best word. Like it's the most amount of fear I've ever physically experienced. Gosh. Like the first, and so it was a little trippy for me. My experience with it was first time it ever happened. I was, I think, a junior in high school. And I was dating this girl at the time, and, you know, we had, you just stay on the phone all night until you fall asleep. That kind of a thing.
Hang up.
Yeah, you hang up. No. So she had fallen asleep, and I was starting to doze off, and I just, out of nowhere, I heard what sounded like something being dragged across the floor. And where I am in my bed was in a corner, and so my back was to most of the room, so I'm kind of looking at a wall. And the moment I hear that and I had this thought of like, I'm going to turn over, like I thought, I was like, is my dad in here? Yeah. I instantly just could not move. Yep. And I heard, it wasn't deaf, but I heard like nothing but like static white noise. Like it just sounded like,
yeah.
And, and although I couldn't see, it was weird. I felt it and knew where this thing was at all times. Yes. And it was behind me and walking around up to like the head of my bed. And when it got in front of me in view, it stood at the foot of my bed, and it was this white. Only way I can describe it, it was like Anubis, but instead of like, you know, the Egyptian, like underworld god or whatever, like human body, but dog head. So it was kind of like that. But instead of a dog, it was a horse.
We're going to pray over Austin.
Yeah, right. No, it's going to get real. But it was like a horse, and it was white, but I could see through it. So I'll wrap this up, but. Long story short, it was terrifying. I started hyperventilating, apparently so much that it woke my girlfriend at the time up over the phone. Like,
and she probably thought you were dying and being murdered.
It was really, I didn't know if it was real or like, I never
Could you make noise?
Like
I couldn't make noise.
No, you can't speak.
Can't speak.
But I promise I'm going to turn this around in a lighter way. But one of the reasons I kind of wanted to talk about it was, it's absolutely terrifying, you know, but you can't speak, can't say anything, but I usually just hyperventilate. And I didn't know if it was real. I was like, was that just the most like lucid dream I've ever had?
And your heart's racing
like,
so
I was so confused. And then I'm looking at my phone, and then she called me back just like hysterical, like, oh my God, are you okay? And then it hit me. I realized, oh, that actually happened. So I freaked out, probably slept downstairs, for 2 weeks.
With the lights on?
Yeah, with the lights on. And honestly, it didn't really happen again, but a little fast forward, maybe a few years later, for about 3 years, it happened regularly, like all the time. So I started getting really annoyed by it, and eventually started searching. I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't even know what to do. So the only thing that came to mind is like, I'll Google sleep paralysis. And then sure enough, the first thing, it sent chills down my spine, because what Wikipedia pulled up this old painting that was this person on a bed at the foot of their bed was this horse.
No.
You're
like
lying.
this horse head. I will show you. I can pull it up. And this
Mine's not like that.
And this little demon was like sitting on her chest. And yeah, so I could
That's crazy.
I could go into all sorts
Oh my gosh,
of like
new fear unlocked, guys.
Right, yeah.
Thanks.
That's happened to Matthew once. Matthew, Matthew was really freaked out.
Yeah. Well, that was just the first time. I've had some
Not
messed
to me,
up,
not in Jesus'
like-
name. Nope.
It's only really happened to that degree for me maybe twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was recently. Do you remember me telling you that I felt someone was in my room? Okay. But I never saw any. Like, I thought I saw things.
Oh, I've seen
But I
this.
never really saw like that. But so my bedroom is like, you can see the whole room. Like, I mean, it's all right there. And so I heard last night. I heard people talk. Anyway, I heard this. What's wrong with
Like,
us?
you'll hear people talking like straight up.
But last night or this night, I got woken up by a feeling. It wasn't even like a noise was happening or anything like that. Got woken up by this feeling, and I opened my eyes and I looked around and I couldn't move, and the feeling got worse, and where my heart was going, and then I wanted to be like, Matthew, like, and I couldn't speak, and I was like, what is happening? And I was so scared I couldn't go back to sleep. I was I was fearful, like it was.
It's hard, it's almost hard to describe.
It is
how.
Oh, you described it. You described it pretty well.
Well, and then the only other, like, I've had a bunch, but the only memorable one that I'll never forget is we're at Kelsey's.
Besides the one you just told us.
Yeah,
Well,
Anubis. Yeah.
I've seen Anubis. No, I've been to the underworld. But we were staying at a house in Mississippi, one of Kelsey's aunts, and I was in this room by myself because Kelsey was sleeping with her cousin. Mississippi. Hold on, that came out wrong. Her cousin was a girl, but anyway. Anyways, I'm going to stop. Yeah, shared a room.
Yep.
But yeah, it started happening. Like, you can feel when it's about to happen sometimes. And then so I had that, and I was like, oh, here we go. And this time, two, like, blacker than black, just like figures walked into the room.
That's kind of how mine would, if I could describe that. Yeah.
Like, one was tall and one was short. And then the short one got in front of me, like right in my face. But once again, I couldn't see if it was just a silhouette. And then I felt the other one walk behind and got in bed with me. I felt the bed sink down.
All right, I'm done, guys.
Once again, I'm going to turn this around, I promise. But it got in. Have y'all ever seen Hellraiser?
No.
Okay, well, there was a demon in Hellraiser that had this like chattering teeth real fast. And it got in my ear, and I heard like chattering teeth. And I could even hear them talking to each other. Like, in what sound? Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like that. And then, and they were
like, oh yes, it's you again.
Yeah. Oh, what up? No,
Okay.
but I could even hear them talking to each other, but I couldn't. It was like another language. What sounded like an ancient language. But
Cool.
Yeah, cool guys. But anyways, so the way I would turn it around is like, I actually haven't struggled with it in a long time because honestly, I figured out how powerless they were.
Holy water.
It kind of. So, you mentioned I couldn't
every
speak.
night.
So, you mentioned you couldn't speak, but I had this thought. It was like, if for some reason, I was like, if I could just say the name Jesus.
Get out, or
that's all I wanted to say. And then I started noticing once I could, it would immediately stop. Like, they would flee. I'd be snapped out of it. And then it just happened enough. And then I started, instead of getting fear, I'd get pissed. Like when I was like, you have no right to be here.
Yeah.
Like became more of like an authoritative stance.
Yeah.
Because I realized, I was like, what's the old saying? Like the only thing to fear is fear itself. So kind of like that.
Yeah.
I was like, they fed off fear.
Yeah.
And I was like, once I stopped being afraid, it stopped happening.
Interesting.
So in a way, I was like, that's how I don't like to talk about it just to be like, ooh, spooky, like spookaboo.
Oh my gosh, that can be our Halloween episode.
Yeah, right.
Spookaboo.
Spookaboo.
But that's from a game Journey and I play, where there's this carnival land where there's these ghosts, and when you walk by, they go spookaboo. But
Scoop.
All right, good talk.
Spookaboo.
yeah. But anyways, cool. Powerless.
Yeah.
Just say Jesus if you deal with sleep paralysis. It's easy.
If you can say anything else.
Yeah.
My brother levitated off the bed once.
All right, we're not
Nice. I
getting
haven't
into
done
this,
that.
guys.
I haven't done that yet.
Stop.
See, you don't want to like lean into it.
It happened. Anyway, I wish my mom was here. She had so many stories. Okay,
Yeah.
look. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This has been
Yeah,
fun. Yeah. No, seriously, I have
Absolutely.
enjoyed it.
No, for real. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem. I think our friendship has been really fun.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed getting to know you and Kelsey. I love that you and Matthew have this friendship.
Yeah. Mhm.
So it's been
It's
a good
rare
time.
that you have like in adult life couple friendships that are
Yeah.
it's natural and you actually like. So yeah.
Yeah.
And me.
And
Adrienne. Yeah.
Me and you and
The
you
whole
and me,
Calderwood
just us.
clan. I've collected
Your
all the
friends,
cards.
Steve.
Yeah.
I've met all the sisters now, I think. Officially.
Ooh. All right. Well, listen, I really enjoyed this. I love you both so much. And
Likewise.
Austin, I hope you had fun.
I did.
All
yeah.
right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks
bye,
for all that.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for all
Bye.
that.